From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Welcome into SportsLine, everybody, right here on News Channel 5 Plus, the Wednesday extravaganza. Jon Burton with you. Happy to be with you on this warm and very summer-like Wednesday evening here in Nashville and around Middle Tennessee. Boy, didn't have much of a spring, did we? It went pretty much from winter to summer with the warm temperatures out there today. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you had a chance to get outside and enjoy this warm weather as spring and now summer really has arrived here in Middle Tennessee. Got a lot to get to tonight. Coming up at 8:30, Buck Reising from 104.5 The Zone and A to Z Sports will join us via Zoom. We'll get his thoughts primarily on the Titans, but also we'll look at what else is going on in and around our area of sports with the Predators. And, of course, Nashville SC, big soccer game going on right now over at brand new Geodis Park. They're taking on Atlanta United in the round of 32 of the U.S. Open Cup tournament. It is a quick break from their MLS schedule, even though they're playing a fellow MLS team. Those two teams involved in the United States Cup soccer tournament, which is for all professional soccer teams in and around the United States. So they are going at it right now as we speak. We'll try to have an update on that match for you a little bit later on in the show. Steve Lehman will have complete highlights and reaction over on News Channel 5 at sports, for sports, I should say, at 10:20. The NFL schedule, full schedule gets released tomorrow. All kinds of things leaking out about the possibility of the Titans playing on Christmas Day here over at Nissan Stadium. You get all kinds of leaks this time of year. You don't really know what is for sure. We will all find out tomorrow, 7 o'clock here locally, when the NFL, all 32 teams will reveal their 2022 NFL schedules. Always a big day for NFL fans once the schedules come out. Fans want to know, how many primetime games are we playing? We already do know that the Titans will be playing on Monday Night Football in Week 2 at the Buffalo Bills. Of course, the Bills, everybody's favorite to win the AFC this year, so an early measuring stick for the Titans Week 2 as they travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Should be an outstanding game. One of two Monday Night Football games that will be scheduled for Week 2 on Monday Night Football. So we await to find out the full NFL schedule. And, of course, the biggest news here, should say the Titans rookies will be in this weekend. They'll be on the practice field Friday and Saturday as they make their way to St. Thomas Sports Park and get some practice time in, some early practice time. So the rookies will be coming to town over the next couple of days and practicing and working with head coach Mike Vrabel and his staff. And, of course, just a couple of nights ago, the Predators season came to an end. A 4-game sweep. They were swept by they were swept in the first round of the playoffs by the Colorado Avalanche. Really a series that seemed over before it began. The Avalanche kind of really imposed their will, I should say, in Game 1 with the 7-2 win. And then, of course, Game 2 going to overtime, tied at 1. Preds had a chance to steal that one and come back home up 1-1, but Colorado gets the goal in overtime. And, of course, they lose the 2 games here at home. So the Preds season is over after a first-round playoff loss. And you look at the individual accomplishments of this Predators team. Roman Josi looks to be a lock for the Norris Trophy for the second time in 3 years, 96 points. And, of course, you had 2 40-goal scorers in Matt Duchene and Philip Forsberg, and a really good, solid season in net in his first time as the full-time starter by UC Saros, I should say, who this week has been named a finalist for the Vezina Trophy, which goes to the league's top goaltender. But the biggest question right now involving the Nashville Predators, the future of Philip Forsberg, the greatest goal scorer in this franchise's history, only 27 years old. His contract is about to end. Can he get another deal with the Nashville Predators? Can David Poile, the general manager, and Forsberg's team come to an agreement on an extension or actually a new contract that would keep Forsberg in Smashville? Right now, I'd say it's probably 50-50. I know the two sides have been talking for what seems like years, but certainly several months. Both sides say that they want Forsberg. Forsberg, as you're about to hear, has said that he wants to stay in Nashville. David Poile, the GM, told me recently in an interview that They have every intention of trying to get Forsberg signed long-term, but it is negotiations. You never really know. The Predators players had their exit interviews yesterday after losing on Monday and their season coming to an end. Here is what Philip Forsberg had to say about this past season and his future, perhaps, as a Nashville Predator.
What are your thoughts on how it ended, maybe the season overall in general for you guys?
I mean, if we started to start, obviously the regular season was great. I thought we obviously battled hard through all the games and had some really good individual efforts. Obviously, you also had a phenomenal season. Duchene broke records. I had a good year. Juice obviously nominated for the Vezina too. And just overall, I think we had a lot of really good performances throughout the lineup. And obviously, we earned our spot in the playoffs and ran into possibly the best team in the NHL. Obviously, an incredible team that we didn't really. I thought we played hard. I thought we gave them a good fight, but at the same time, it was 4-0, and I guess that speaks a little bit for itself.
Philip, you mentioned, obviously 4-0. How do you feel about the direction of this team as you guys move forward here?
I mean, to be fair, you look at the series against them, and the first game was obviously not even close. They played us out of the park. Second game, Inge kept us in it, and then the two games here in Nashville, I thought are pretty even games. I mean, obviously we let in 4 goals on the power play in the third game, and then are up going into the last 10 minutes of the last game. And they're an incredible team. They got great players. They can, obviously make you pay when you give them a chance. And unfortunately, they did that to us. But like I said, I thought we battled hard, and nobody can question the team's integrity throughout the whole year.
Philip, when you look at where the Avalanche are as a team and where your team is as a team in terms of the gap between being up there near the top of the league, how close or how far do you think this team is from closing that gap and getting back up there?
It's a tough question. Obviously, we were in a pretty similar situation a few years ago, just opposite. I mean, we were the team that was top of the league, and they were a little bit of a younger, hungry team coming in. And obviously, like I said, they were better, no question about it. So we definitely have some steps to take, but I definitely think we have the possibility to do it.
What do you look for, Philip, as you kind of look into what might be an eventful off season? What are the most important things you keep in mind as you make decisions about your?
I mean, it's a little early to answer. Obviously, just this after, it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of analyze and recover from this one. But like I said, I'm proud of the guys. Like I said, you see the team going in the right direction. Nobody had us going to the playoffs. Nobody had us pushing for anything, but basically to beat Arizona, for the bottom spot in the division. I thought we did a lot of good things that we can build on, and as every time we stand here, it's up to every individual to come back ready to go and be better next year.
Philip, as you consider your future, how much or how important is the direction of this team moving forward? I mean, how much are you taking that into consideration along with everything else?
Yeah, no, a lot. I mean, obviously, I've been fortunate enough to be on this team for a long time now and made the playoffs every year. But at the same time, every player plays to win the Stanley Cup, and so do I. That's my biggest goal, and I do believe that we have a team that can make that in the future. And like you said, I think that's the direction that a team has to be heading, and I think we are.
I understand, Philip, that negotiation has to happen, but all things being equal, do you want to be back here?
Yeah, I mean, that's like you said. I've said that since day one. The goal is to come back here, and the business side is completely different than the on-ice side, as you guys are aware of, and just kind of have to wait and see and play it out. There's been obviously some progression throughout the season from where we started in September, and I mean, we're obviously, me and my agent and David and Brian and the management are going to be an ongoing conversation in the process, and we'll just have to see where we end.
Phil, like at least your last time, maybe you took it, savored a little bit more when you were on the ice after a game, kind of waiting to the fans. If it was your last game, was that kind of a moment that you tried to take in just in case?
I mean, it's a tough situation. You lose 4-0. I don't know. Obviously, we're very proud of our fans for sticking with us despite that series, and obviously through the whole season they've been awesome for us. And at the time, you're not really thinking about the future too much. You're too caught up in the moment, just obviously disappointed. And same time, like I said, proud of the fans, the way they showed up, and you almost feel bad for them that we couldn't give them at least a couple more games. But like I said, the Avalanche, they play well.
Philip, what was the difference for you this season to hit the numbers, the goals, the points that you did to have a career here?
I mean, it's hard to answer. I thought, like I said, we had a lot of really good good individual seasons. I mean, obviously Duchene's season, Yosa's season, like I mentioned, they obviously helped me. We helped each other get to those levels too, and just the connection with Duchene that we had this year was great. I mean, we played together almost every game, and whether it was Joey or Granny that was centering us, they're both phenomenal players as well, which made my job pretty easy, honestly. And just the mindset coming into the season has been that to have that breakout year, and obviously it was great on a personal level just to get to that level, but at the same time, you always want more. You know, you want to have that playoff success, and unfortunately that didn't happen.
Phil, before the season, you kind of, so many words said you were kind of betting on yourself. You know, could you envision it going much better in terms of just, you know, taking that chance?
I mean, like I said, the playoffs would have been better. I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to, no disrespect, I don't want to be here talking to you guys today. I would have preferred it to be in a couple months from now. And but like I said, the regular season was great. Our team had a great regular season. For me, it was good too. And yeah, like I said, I guess the playoffs is the only thing that wasn't really where we wanted it to be.
Is it a little bit of an unusual feeling for you, Philip, to kind of go into the offseason with this uncertainty, a little bit of a new feeling?
Yeah. I mean, obviously first time being in the situation in a long time. Obviously last time was a little different too, being restricted and things like that. But it's part of the journey, I guess. You have to deal with things as they come, and yeah, it is what it is.
Is it hard to believe that it's been 6 years already?
It's gone by quick. A lot of things have happened, but yeah, hopefully I have a lot of hockey left in me.
Is there anyone in particular, a friend or family member or agent, who you kind of leaned on to go through this process kind of for the first time?
I mean, I think I have a phenomenal support group in general. My parents, my fiance, obviously all my friends, and especially my agents have been great, you know. But I think just on the day to day, it's my fiance Erin and my parents. I mean, that's the people that keeps you who you are, and obviously they help you with everything, including these kind of things, even though they might not be sitting there at the negotiating table or playing with you on the ice, but they help you with everything else. So it's pretty cool to have that.
You envision hearing from your agent a lot now that the season's over? I guess you probably during the season at some point you're probably like, all right, we're gonna wait. Are those gonna ramp up now?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, I don't want to give you guys too much information on the negotiations and stuff, but I'm sure it'll definitely, like I said, there was progress all the way up until trade deadline, and after that, obviously the teams were set and nothing was going to happen at that point, and we just focused on playing well for the rest of the season, playing well in the playoffs, and like I said, I'm sure the talks will start progressing again, and we'll see what happens.
Phil, was your comments labored in the negotiation? As confident today as you were a year ago at this time that we'll be here next year?
I mean, it's obviously a challenge. I mean, I can't remember really how I felt at the end of last year, except the disappointment losing to Carolina. But I wouldn't say that anything has changed, honestly. Like it's been a good season for the team. Obviously, the team is developed in the right way. You know, coming into this season with a couple of changes in the offseason, you didn't really know where this team was going to go, but led by Jos having a phenomenal season as the captain, I think everybody's kind of followed his footsteps and had a great year, and definitely haven't heard any chances.
Do you think that the entire season, you know, seeking such a goal for 30 years, you and Duchene both do things and never get done here? Is that duplicable, or how does this team get to the next step?
I think, like I said, I don't know if we'll get 2 40-goal scorers again. I mean, ideally we'd get more. Calgary had 3, right? And we'd obviously have players that can do that too. But I think every season is a little different. Obviously, I'd rather take us, like I said earlier, playing today and take 10 goals off my scoring, you know? Like, I think that's, at the end of the day, we have to get to that point where we'd be competing with the Avalanche, obviously with guys like that on their team, that we can beat them in the playoffs here. So I think that's the biggest step for this team.
Philip, with your journey, going back to your rookie season, you were arguably robbed of the trophy, now 40-goal scorer. What's been your proudest moment with this team?
There's been a lot. I mean, obviously we've have a lot of good memories and a lot of good times, and yeah, hopefully the best is yet to come.
Philip Forsberg, the Predators' 40-goal man, one of the 2 40-goal men for the Preds this season. Talking about this past season ending, of course, getting swept in the first round by the Colorado Avalanche 4-0, and then, of course, his future with his contract set to expire in July, and his hopes. So he says that he wants to remain a Nashville Predator and re-sign here. It'll be interesting to see if that happens. All right, time for our first break. When we come back, we're going to hear from the Predators' other 40-goal scorer, Matt Duchene, coming off a monster year. What does he think about this past season, and how can his game get even better next year? You'll hear from him coming up next on SportsLine. Stay with us.